Right now, lock up. The warning from police says colder than usual temperatures are expected for the week ahead. And with more cold comes more snow, of course. The First Alert Weather Team is tracking another winter storm that could create a mess in the days ahead. Plus, looking for love or just a friend this Valentine's Day week? We'll show you the new app hoping to connect unsuspecting students.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Sunday, February 10th. I'm Josh Spreiter with meteorologist Chris Reese, who's tracking yet another winter storm, and we're right on the heels of it right now.
We are. We have a light snowmaker coming in today, but then the one coming in for Tuesday could really bring some significant snow accumulation around here. So let's go ahead and start with how things look outside right now. The temperature 21 degrees. We are cloudy, and we do have winter weather advisories mainly for just Juneau and Adams County. In our viewing area, the heaviest snow is going to be off to our north, but we're starting to see some of that light snow move in right now to parts of Wisconsin. As we show you the bigger picture, you see the swath of snow across Iowa that is going to be moving in. Expect that to increase throughout the morning, and we'll see snow around here going through the rest of the afternoon. Generally, we're looking at about an inch of snow from that one. The bigger storm system is coming in across the western Rockies right now. That, my friends, is going to lead to a bigger snow event for us in the days ahead. We do have an alert day for your Tuesday. That is where we could see at least 6 inches of snow. So we're going to be watching that one very closely, Josh.
Mother Nature just won't let up.
No, not right now anyway. We are going to be in a very active pattern for the week ahead.
All right, Chris, we know you're tracking it. Thank you. It is 6:31 right now. We are expecting to learn more from Beloit police in a press conference later this morning after one man was killed Saturday afternoon. Officers say it happened on the 800 block of Vine Street. Police say the victim was a 28-year-old man from Janesville. News 3 Now was on scene last night and talked to neighbors who say their neighborhood doesn't have a lot of crime, but they did notice something suspicious Saturday.
There was a car weirdly parked on the terrace across the street, and it sat there for a while. It just looked weirdly parked, and then a while after we noticed it was there, fire truck came, ambulance came, and then they left, and that's when the yellow tape and the police came.
Beloit police do not have anyone in custody right now, but say there's no active threat to the public. We'll be bringing you updates from the press conference and any new developments on this investigation on Channel3000.com. More local news now. Madison police are reminding you to lock your cars and be extra careful when warming them up. This comes as vehicle thefts are on the rise and temperatures continue to fall below normal. Police Chief Mike Koval says nearly 60 vehicles were reported stolen last month alone. That's a 21% increase compared to January of last year. Of the 58 stolen, 50 had the keys inside and 29 were running at the time of the theft. All but 15 of those stolen vehicles have been recovered, but it's a good reminder that crime can happen anywhere, at any time, in any weather. Experts say you should also be kind to your car in this cold weather. It doesn't just affect traditional gas-run vehicles. AAA warns electric cars could be limited once the temperature drops below 20. The agency says the average driving range on a single charge goes down by 41% in those circumstances. That means a greater risk of being stranded with a dead battery. Extreme heat has a similar effect on electric cars. When we get above 95, the air conditioning used in the vehicle decreases the range by 17%. Amidst these concerns, the auto industry technician shortage is growing. Federal labor statistics show more than 75,000 mechanics are needed this year to replace those retiring or leaving the industry. Those leading the Madison College automotive program say it is hard for the industry when schools and parents only push their kids to go to a 4-year college.
You can come for a 1 or a 2 year program, and then after 2 years you're out there working in the industry, making money right away, and you can only build on your income from there.
There are numerous opportunities in this industry, including technicians, estimators, paint reps, part suppliers, and sales reps for the products they use. The county is shutting down parts of the Capital City Trail starting this week. Crews will be out removing trees from the trail between Fish Hatchery Road and Seminole Highway. The goal is to get rid of any dead or dying trees and help make space for repaving later this year. Work should be wrapped up by mid-March. You can find a map of alternative routes on this county's website. There's just a little bit more of a week until the next election, and we want to remind voters that you can now cast in-person absentee ballots at most public libraries throughout Madison. Polls on the UW-Madison and Edgewood College campus will open tomorrow. The spring primary is on February 19th and includes the race for Madison mayor and 3 school board positions. You will need to bring a valid ID with you to vote. If you're not registered at your current address or at all, you can do that at the polling place with proof of residence. That could be a utility bill, a pay stub, or a lease. The Madison Ho-Chunk Casino is officially submitting its plans to expand with a 250-room hotel, a 115,000 square foot conference center, and a heritage center to highlight the tribe's 11,000-year history here. The executive manager puts the price tag in the tens of millions. It still needs approval from the Ho-Chunk legislature as well as the city, a relationship Brown says the tribe has been fostering for years.
The whole theme behind our planning has been collaboration. We want to make sure that what we do is going to be a value add to the city, to the county, to the region.
If it's approved, construction could start as early as next year. Organizers warn, though, if the casino in Beloit gets approval, the Madison project might take a back seat. 6:36 this morning, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office wants you to be on the lookout for a scammer making his way across the state, persuading cashiers to give him cash. The Sheriff's Office says in almost every case, a man walks up to the cashier and tells them he knows the owner and he has permission to obtain a loan from the business. He usually explains his personal hardships and why he's in need of cash. In all cases, he's been able to convince cashiers to give him about $150. Authorities are asking business owners and cashiers to be on the lookout and report any suspicious activity. A Bud Light commercial you might have caught during the Super Bowl is still getting pushback from Wisconsin corn growers this weekend. The Game of Thrones themed commercial promotes Bud Light, which brews without the use of corn syrup. The National Corn Growers Association is weighing in, tweeting that it would love to talk about the benefits of corn, also thanking Miller and Coors for supporting the industry. The head of the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association called the commercial disappointing, saying farmers are having a hard enough time without getting flack from a beer company. There's a new collaboration between UW-Madison researchers and the Wisconsin Ginseng Board to make sure those crops can be sold in Taiwan. Wisconsin is responsible for 90 to 95% of all ginseng produced in the U.S., and there's a significant market for the crop in Taiwan. That market has been even more important since the president's trade war with China began. In order to send it there, growers need to inspect for a soil-dwelling nematode that can infect the Taiwanese banana crop. A local plant pathology professor is working with the USDA to develop a protocol to sample soil and make sure their exports are free of pests. Well, this week, a familiar face announced he will be coming back to Madison for this spring's graduation ceremony.
Madison, what's going on? This is J.J. Watt, and I just want to say thank you to the class of 2019 for choosing me to be your commencement speaker at graduation at Camp Randall this year. I'm so excited to get back to Wisconsin, so excited to get back into Camp Randall, to see everybody. I'm not sure if the people organizing this know that I haven't graduated yet, so I'm just saying if a diploma happened to slide my way, I wouldn't be too upset. But I'm so excited to see everybody.
That is former Badger defensive lineman J.J. Watt. He attended the UW in 2009 and 2010 and left early to play in the NFL. He's been with the Houston Texans since for the last 8 years. Watt is known both for his work on the field and his humanitarian efforts. You might remember his incredible campaign to raise millions of dollars after Hurricane Harvey. Plus, he's a Pewaukee native. Meanwhile, the UW system is reporting a record number of graduates in the 2017-18 academic year. Nearly 37,000 students at all levels graduated during this time frame. That's an increase of 13.4% from a decade ago. There's a new app aiming to help UW students find love or at least make some new friends. Data Match is a matchmaking service available to UW students starting this week. The same program actually started at Harvard back in 1994. Students can fill out a 21-question survey, then they'll receive 10 matches based on their responses. The organization hopes its service will help unite students who otherwise might never meet.
Once they get their match, then they have the opportunity to go out on a date, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make connections with students that maybe you don't cross paths with, when you're on your day-to-day.
The university has partnered with local businesses to offer special date night promotions, hoping to get around 10,000 students to participate this year. Well, if you need a reminder, Valentine's Day is this week, and a new survey by Bankrate shows men and women have very different expectations of how much money should be spent for the Hallmark holiday. Men will spend an average of $339 on their partners, while women will spend $64. But here's the real disconnect. Women only expect their partners to spend $154, while men, on the other hand, wish their partners would spend $211. And there's a reminder to make sure any potential beaus you're finding online are real. Catfishing is the 11th most popular cyber crime in the U.S. and the second costliest. That's when a person fakes their identity on social media or a dating site, luring someone into trusting them and then takes their money. According to the FBI data, Wisconsinites say relatively safe from it, but still victims here lose almost $2 million to scammers each year. 6:41 right now. We are awaiting another major winter storm headed our way. Let's take a live look outside as we wake up on this Sunday morning. A little milder out there compared to yesterday. Chris is tracking the timing and the snow totals coming up in his Alert Day forecast. This is News 3 Now this morning.
Well, we are tracking a little bit of light snow working its way towards Wisconsin today. That could bring some accumulations, at least some light accumulations around for us, some heavier accumulations towards north central Wisconsin. Let's go ahead and show you guys how things are shaping up on the radar as we speak. You see that light snow especially starting to move in from the south and west. Expect that to increase throughout the day. A little bit of snow already starting to move in to the area. I'm not quite sure this is reaching the ground just yet, but if you are seeing snow, definitely right in and let us know what you are seeing. But I do think most of this is going to hold off until we get you later on this morning. The air just a little bit dry at the moment. Where that snow will be heaviest, there are winter weather advisories. It's mainly places like Juneau and Adams County and farther to the north and west. But it is cold, folks. Temperatures are well below freezing, so any snow that does fall will stick. So even light snow can lead to some slick spots outside. Be mindful of that. The temperature right now, 21 degrees in Madison. Winds out of the southeast at 7. And here's how things will play out. I think this does a good job of showing you when that heaviest snow will move in. And I think that is going to be late morning and through the early afternoon. And again, heavy is relative because the snow is still going to be a lighter snow event. But that'll get out of here as we get you towards late this evening, probably towards the end of dinner time or so. And as far as how much snow, generally, it's going to be light. We're looking at about an inch here in Madison, lesser amounts towards the south. We could see 2 to 3 inches as you work your way towards the north. But from there, we do turn our attention to the next system that's been bringing some very heavy snow towards the west coast. That low is going to track across the plains and towards the Great Lakes, and that does mean another snow chance for us. And so here we are Monday night into Tuesday morning when that snow will be arriving. We could see some of that heaviest snow during the Tuesday morning rush hour. A lot of wind likely with that as well before things come to an end sometime Tuesday evening into Wednesday. With that system, we're looking at perhaps 7 or 8 inches of snow. Still, though, there is some time to figure out the exact amount, but it could be a significant snow event for us around here. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Of course, we do have an alert day for your Tuesday in anticipation of that. In the meantime, do expect more snow chances to arrive towards Valentine's Day night and into Friday. We could see a wintry mix of freezing rain with that one as well. But yeah, this next week will bring a lot of action when it comes to that weather, Josh.
All right, lots to keep watching there.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thank you. More local news now. Our huge temperature swings have potholes popping up across southern Wisconsin. The city of Madison has noticed a steady uptick in reports this week. Officials say this is a little earlier than they normally see this big of an increase. The main reason are extreme temperature changes. The city of Madison has a full crew tackling the 800 miles of traffic lanes, but they can only use a cold mix, basically just gravel and oil, patching up what they can until the warmer months. The city crews need your help in identifying those trouble areas, so if you have a pothole you'd like to report, you can find a link on the Channel 3000 mobile app. Chicago's O'Hare Airport has overtaken Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport for having the most flight operations. The 2018 data released by the FAA shows Chicago had more flights than Atlanta for the first time since 2014. But Atlanta doesn't have much to fear. The traditional barometer used to determine the world's busiest airport isn't how many flights come and go, it's how many passengers pass through. And that measure nobody can touch Atlanta. 103.9 million passengers passed through its airport in 2017, which is 8 million more than the second busiest airport in Beijing. If you're flying out of Milwaukee this weekend, that airport has a newish name. The General is being dropped at Milwaukee's airport. As part of a rebranding campaign, the airport is now going by the name Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport rather than General Mitchell International. A spokesman says Milwaukee was added to the name to better highlight the airport's location. 6:48 this morning. Still ahead, tennis star Serena Williams has a new campaign, Off the Court. We'll tell you how she's encouraging women to call the shots when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
That waiting is polite.
Well, we're tracking a little bit of light snow starting to move its way into south central Wisconsin. A lot of that heaviest snow is back towards the south and west over parts of Iowa right now, but expect this action here to kind of gradually work its way towards the north and east as we go through the next couple of hours. So that'll bring increasing snow to parts of the area. It's not going to be a lot of snow, but you'll begin to see those flakes of snow flying. Temperatures right now right around 21 degrees. We are mostly cloudy here in town, but as we plan your day ahead, do expect the snow to increase probably about 10 o'clock or so. We'll top out around 26 through the afternoon. Josh?
Chris, thank you. It is 6:52. Tennis star Serena Williams has a new campaign, Off the Court. She's encouraging women to call the shots by teaming up with Bumble, a dating and social networking app that requires women to make the first move. Bianna Goladriga reports on the new initiative.
The world tells you to wait, that waiting is polite, and good things will just come. But if I waited to be invited in, I never would have stood out.
I think we're taught as women sometimes that, you know, it's okay to sit back and it's okay to let someone come to you, and it's okay. You'll get your opportunity because people will open the door, people will come to you, but why not just grab it and take it and be the first and ask for it or go for our first move?
What has the reaction been from your peers in the world of sports in general, that this is a conversation that you're bringing to the forefront? Because it's an issue that's affecting athletes as well.
Whether it's equal pay to equal court time and show time, it's just really important for the new generation to realize that, listen, we have to use our voice and we have to let them know that we're just as good. We work just hard. I know I've been working since I was 3 years old, you know, picking up tennis rackets, and so I deserve the same treatment as everyone else.
And most of all, don't wait to be given power, because here's what they won't tell you. We already have it.
You've got a great man in your corner, obviously, that being your husband, and the family that you've created with your beautiful little daughter, Olympia. She's a year and a half now. What is the world that you hope she grows up in when it comes to this issue in particular?
So I think our messaging and things that we do today is really helping our generation for tomorrow, which happens to be my daughter. And so that really kind of motivates me to want to speak louder and to do more, because I look at her precious little face and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want her to have the same opportunities that if I had a boy, he would have.
Whitney, the app itself and the idea of women being empowered to make the first move. When you first had this idea, did you get any pushback, any blowback at all? Like, this is a bit too aggressive?
Absolutely. And the pushback was what really inspired this. Everyone was catering to what the man might want. And you had a bunch of men sitting around saying, well, what do women want? Yeah. We'll put one in charge and maybe you'll find out.
Serena, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on female athletes really trying to break gender walls and play football and other sports that have been dominantly seen as male sports. What is your reaction to that? What is your message to these young girls?
Well, being the first is never easy, but it's really, like Whitney says, just really about breaking down those walls and not giving up. And there's going to be lots of no's. I can't tell you how many times I've heard no, but eventually those no's will become yeses, but you can't stop. You just have to keep going.
6:55 right now. There's a full hour of more local news ahead for us. Coming up, we'll have the latest from police this morning about this weekend's homicide in Beloit. But first, here's a preview of what's to come and an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Heinen. Today on For the Record, we'll talk about one of Madison's treasures, our renowned and always free Henry Vilas Zoo. On top of the fun and the joy of spending a day at the zoo, it plays an important role not just in our community, but in conservation efforts of our planet. We look ahead to the Save Our Species luncheon as I visit with Henry Vilas Zoological Society President Allison Prange, and that's coming up this morning on News 3 Now.
A local man is hoping his journey to a new heart will inspire others facing their own challenges to never give up. We'll explain the unique way he's sharing, or rather showing, his story.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome back on this Sunday, February 10th. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris has the very latest on the next winter storm headed our way this week, but first, here's what's making news this morning. Today marks exactly 1 month since Jamie Kloss escaped her kidnapper in northwest Wisconsin. This morning, the Facebook page Healing for Jamie Kloss is asking everyone to wear something blue to celebrate. They also share that Jamie is doing well and the family is taking it one day at a time. We expect to learn more from Beloit Police in a press conference later this morning after one man was killed there Saturday afternoon. Officers say it happened on the 800 block of Vine Street. We're told the victim was a 28-year-old man from Janesville. Beloit Police do not have anyone in custody right now, but say there is no active threat to the public. We'll bring you updates during the press conference and any new developments today on the investigation over on Channel3000.com. As temperatures stay colder than normal, AAA is reminding drivers, be kind to your car in this kind of weather. The cold doesn't just affect traditional gas-run vehicles. AAA warns electric cars could be limited once the temperature drops below 20. According to that agency, the average driving range on a single charge goes down by 41% in those circumstances. That means a greater risk of being stranded with a dead battery is even greater. Valentine's Day is just a few days away, and a new survey by Bankrate shows men and women have very different expectations of how much money should be spent for the holiday. Men will spend an average of $339 on their partners, while women will spend $64. But here's the real disconnect. Women only expect their partners to spend $154, while men, on the other hand, wish their partners would spend $211. 7:01 this morning. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking a little snow headed our way.
That's right, Josh. No snow falling out of the sky right now, but there is some snow on the way. The temperature, 21 degrees here in Madison. Winds out of the east and southeast at 9 miles per hour. We do have winter weather advisories just to our north. Juneau and Adams counties, you guys are under that winter weather advisory this afternoon. But here's the radar showing you at least some snow trying to move in. But that greatest snow is just to the south and west right now, coming out of parts of Iowa. Expect that to move north and east through time, and we'll see that snow increasing, especially later on this morning and into the afternoon as well. But what we're paying attention to, folks, is the snow starting to work its way in from the west coast right now. That is going to be a stronger system that will impact our weather, especially as we begin to head towards Tuesday. That is why Tuesday is an alert day for the threat of heavy snow, and significant accumulation will be possible. So, of course, we're going to keep a very close eye on that. I do want to show you traffic if you are headed out this morning. This is the interstate at US 51. So far, no major snow-covered roads or anything that could change later on this afternoon, but traffic is moving smoothly across the city right now. All drive times are at their normal speeds with no crashes or delays. Josh.
All right, good news, Chris. Thank you. 7:03 is your time right now. February is American Heart Month, and a Middleton man is getting national attention for a drawing depicting his journey to a new heart. Amanda Quintana has the story you'll only see on News 3 Now.
To understand how much this moment means,
there he goes.
we have to rewind 8 months to back before the accident that changed Scott Kirkpatrick's life.
While driving, had a massive, massive heart attack, and then was able to swerve just a little bit so no one else got hurt, but he did hit a tree going 80 miles an hour.
With 24 broken bones and machines keeping him alive, Scott was given a second chance.
He was flatlined for a little bit here, but they brought him back. They brought him all the way back.
After 8 months of rehab and dialysis, he's home trying to figure out why he survived. So he draws.
You know, the shirt says life is good, but if you look here, it says compared to the alternative. So it's not lost on him that he almost didn't survive.
Each step of his journey, good or bad, now depicted by him.
He went through this horrific accident and heart attack, and he made it through, but his health is declining, and he's getting weaker, and his heart literally is dying. And it's kind of like running a marathon and then finding out, oh, you're not done, you got to run another one, because now you have to wait for a heart transplant.
Another battle he'd need to fight. His heart had too much damage. It's pumping too weak, but the transplant declined. More than 2 months later, he's approved, but just to be on the waiting list.
And we have patients that are on the waiting list, you know, a day or two, and patients are on the waiting list for years. I've taken to telling patients there's so much luck in any kind of transplant scenario.
Scott was lucky. In just 8 days, he got the call gifting him another chance at life.
He literally drew a picture of his mom and dad, who have passed away, as angels up in heaven, and he's like a little swaddled newborn baby, and that drawing was literally done 10 minutes before they wheeled him down for transplant surgery.
He went in trusting his angels.
That lesson was Scott at the time, but now for us, now that we've lost him, that's our lesson too.
The transplant was successful, but 6 months later and just over a year after his first accident, another one.
He took a wrong turn and accidentally drove into the Wisconsin River and drowned. I was actually in the car with him and was able to get out and get to shore, but he didn't make it. I don't know why it had to happen that way. I don't know why he had to suffer and be such a warrior, you know, to be there for his kids, because he wanted so badly to, you know, to be Grandpa K. He already had a nickname for himself, and he lived for his kids, and we certainly weren't ready to let him go.
The ups and downs of his journey, the waiting, looking back on the anniversary of his heart attack, pain in his ankles, mood swings of anti-rejection meds. Scott already sent to UW Hospital's art coordinator to start this exhibit. His wife, Carrie, along with their 2 children, left to explain what the pieces meant to him, adding her own loving life lesson to each moment.
Grief goes in waves, and you're always taught that you know, there's no right or wrong way to grieve, but it was hard. There's a few pictures. There's one called Blue Shirt that I can just see him, you know, it's his face and his eyes, but the picture, he's in pain. You know, he's been through so much and he's got so far to go.
Not every stage is pictured.
Unfortunately, in the drowning accident, he had all his electronics in the car, and so what we have is what we have, but we lost dozens and dozens of drawings.
But the ones that are, Scott hoped would inspire others walking down the hallway to the transplant clinic. Patients, families, even doctors.
You just never know what's going to happen when you wake up in the morning, and every day is a gift. And, you know, I think that theme in Scott's art is certainly part of it.
A reminder to appreciate the little things and live by the answer Scott gave to everyone who asked how he was doing. Loving life.
It isn't a linear journey. It isn't, I just get better every day. It's like life. It's up and down, up and down. So I just hope that that lesson rings true, that people know they just got to keep moving forward.
That was Amanda Quintana reporting. That exhibit will stay up through February. More local news now. Students at Madison College are providing free dental care for children. For the past 15 years, students with the college's dental hygienist program have offered the free care there. The program provides kids with an opportunity to have their teeth examined, cleaned, and x-rayed by future dental hygienists. The clinic coordinator says the students benefit as much as the children. This is the 50th anniversary of the dental hygiene program at Madison College. After concerns from numerous parents, leaders at the Iowa Grant District are defending their idea to move to larger class sizes. They say cutting class sections from 4 to 3 will free up teachers to do other things like support lower achieving students or focus on technology. The topic will be discussed at a school board meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. A student-driven campaign is working to get the Madison Metropolitan School District to use 100% renewable energy by the year 2040. West High School senior Katia Wanish is part of that campaign. She's hoping to get 10,000 signatures by the end of the month to get what's called a green resolution. The group says that resolution would mean solar panels at schools and investing in renewable energy credits. Katia became interested in environmental issues early in high school, but really took note of climate change's potential effects while helping out during last summer's historic flooding.
And I want to make sure that we can mitigate these changes and save Madison how it is for my future children and grandchildren and all future Madisonians, because I really like Madison the way it is right now, and I don't want it to be hit hard by climate disasters.
Students hope the school board will hear their proposals and vote on the resolution this spring. The Madison Night Market is coming back to Madison's for its third year in 2019. Located on Gilman Street, the Madison Night Market will be on May 9th, June 13th, August 8th, and September 12th. Vendors showcase handmade products, local art, artisan gifts, pre-packaged foods, and fresh produce. There are also live music events, visiting food carts, and pop-up restaurants. Last year, more than 5,000 attendees came out to enjoy the market. Vendors have not yet been announced yet for the 2019 season. Well, after our cold weekend, we have more heavy snow returning to southern Wisconsin. Here's a live look outside as we wake up on this Sunday morning. Chris is tracking everything you need to know to plan your week on News 3 Now this morning.
We're going to be watching that radar as we go through the morning as the next rounds of light snow begin to work their way into south central Wisconsin. Now, will not be a big deal by any means, but nonetheless, of course, the ground is frozen. So we're going to watch any snow that comes around just because it does have the potential to stick. So here's Doppler track right now. You see a lot of that heaviest snow just to the southwest over parts of Iowa right now, but do expect that to continue to increase as we go throughout the day. There are some radar returns showing some of that snow in the state right now. I'm just not sure a lot of that is reaching the ground at the moment. But as we give it the next hour or two, I do think the atmosphere will moisten up just enough for more of this to continue to reach the ground. Again, light snow with this sun coming in. There are winter weather advisories off to our north, though. That does include Juneau and Adams counties, and that's where we could see a little bit more in the way of snowfall. But for the most part, things are going to be on the lighter side. Temperatures, though, are well below freezing all across the board, anywhere from about 27 degrees in Milwaukee towards 15 degrees in Black River Falls, or even 12 right now now in Wautoma, so there's certainly a spread in temperatures. But things will gradually warm up, at least just a little bit, with this system coming in. 21 in Madison right now. We do have those winds out of the east and southeast at 9 miles per hour at the moment. Humidity at 81%. That's a key thing right there, just because typically when humidity is at about 70%, that's when you begin to get saturated enough for stuff to begin to reach the ground as it falls from the sky. So again, we're going to watch that closely going through the day. I think the heaviest snow moves in right around the afternoon and early evening hours before that begins to wrap on out of here as we get you towards the late dinner time hours, and temperatures will still be in the 20s at that point. How much snow are we looking at today? Generally about an inch, less of that as you work your way towards the south and east, 2 to 3 inches as you work your way farther towards the north and west there. But we're paying attention to this next system that is over the west right now. That's going to track towards the Great Lakes and bring a heavier snowmaker, especially as we get you towards Monday night through Tuesday and Tuesday night, coming to an end in the wee hours of early Monday. That one could bring more than 6 inches of snow to the area, which would meet winter storm criteria. So again, we're going to watch that one already. An alert day for your Tuesday in anticipation of that snow moving into the picture. By the time we get you throughout Valentine's Day and into Friday, we could see another wintry system work its way into south central Wisconsin, Josh.
Oh man, we just can't catch a break.
Not right now anyway, but I do think maybe by next weekend we'll have a few days of sunshine.
I hope so. All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We have been asking you to share your morning with us and check out what Pat posted on Facebook. This was taken in Orfordville, a beautiful shot there with the sun in the background. That is a very pretty picture. Thank you so much for sharing. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 social media pages using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. A new MIT study warns climate change could cause Earth to lose its distinct blue color in 80 years. Researchers say there will be a noticeable difference in the color of the half of our oceans due to changes in the makeup of phytoplankton. The study finds some regions that are greener now, like the poles, may turn a deeper hue as warmer temperatures create more diverse types of the tiny sea creature. Warmer temperatures could mean the blue regions, like the subtropics, will turn shades darker, meaning there's less life in those waters. New data confirms 2018 was one of the hottest years on record, and now meteorologists predict the next 5 will be even hotter. Last year, the average global temperature was 58.42 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 1.42 degrees warmer than the 20th century average. 2018 ranks as the 4th hottest year since record keeping started back in 1880. 9 of the 10 hottest years on record have all happened since 2005. 7:17 this morning, there's a new app you can download for free that could help you save someone else's life or even your own. And peanut allergies are some of the most common, but what we've been told about how our kids get them may no longer be true. What experts are saying on News 3 Now this morning.
And today will be a light snow day across the area, already tracking some of that snow from the south and west working its way north and east. Some of that heaviest snow across parts of Iowa as we speak, but all of that's going to be moving in our direction. So far, no heavy snow over us at the moment, but we are starting to see at least some light returns around the Platteville area. Now, as we jump over to our Queen Bee Radio Skycam, it does not look like any of that is reaching the ground just yet, so we'll have to continue to give it a bit more time. Temperatures, though, are below freezing in Madison. We're at 21 degrees right now. Temperatures should warm up by about 5 degrees towards 26 for those highs today. Light snow should begin around 10 o'clock and wrap up around 8 o'clock later on tonight. Josh.
Thanks, Chris. On the Health Watch this morning, there's a new statewide effort to teach students more about healthy eating. The Children's Hospital of Wisconsin and Kohl's are teaming up to put a challenge out to schools all about nutrition. That includes trying new foods, knowing how to build a healthy plate, reading food labels, and identifying added sugars. After classes finish the challenge, teachers can submit a summary and be up for a $500 award to keep up the good work. You can visit missionhealthykids.org for more information. Doctors, nurses, and paramedics are hoping we can help them save lives by downloading an app that can get CPR started more quickly. The City of Madison, Dane County EMS, and area hospitals are teaming up to support Pulse Point. The app alerts CPR-trained bystanders when a sudden cardiac arrest occurs somewhere public so that person can respond and help. There have been 30,000 downloads in Dane County alone, but the hope is to add another 10,000 downloads this year. If you are CPR certified, Pulse Point's available for free on both Apple and Android devices. An allergy to peanuts is among the most common food allergies found in American children. But as Brittany Vernier explains, some of the information we've been taught about exposing kids to nuts is no longer true.
20 years ago, doctors say the golden rule was to never give kids peanut butter or anything containing peanuts until they were at least 3 years old.
We have learned over the years that that was probably really bad information.
Now, according to researchers and doctors like Suni Joshi, who's a family and allergy specialist, that suggestion has changed, and now they are encouraging the exact opposite.
If the child does not have a history, a family history of food allergies, and the child, him or herself, doesn't have eczema, an allergic skin condition, then it is better to introduce the food, even without having to see a specialist, very early in life.
Jasmine Watkins says that's exactly the method she chose for her kids.
Oh, definitely. I've been giving my kids peanut butter since they take their first bite. I feed them what I eat, and if I eat it, they're gonna eat it too.
Doctors say when you feed kids foods containing peanuts, it minimizes their chances of becoming allergic by 81%. It's because their body views it as a familiar substance.
The longer you wait to introduce it, if this child is more likely to develop allergies, then they're gonna look at that as a big protein that's not supposed to be there and react against it.
Which is why Watkins said she follows her own rules when it comes to her children. And they just so happen to be the same rules doctors suggest.
I felt like if you give them the peanut butter earlier, that it would lessen the chances that they will have issues with it later, opposed to introducing them to something that they had never had.
If there's no history of a peanut allergy in the family, they certainly should not fear introducing these foods early into the diet.
Reporting in Jacksonville, Brittany Verner, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Nearly 200 health professionals around the state are reviewing letters from federal prosecutors warning them about how much they prescribe opioids. Those notices were sent to physicians, physician assistants, and nurse practitioners. According to the Department of Justice, those who received notices were prescribing opioids at relatively high levels compared to others. The letters do acknowledge that the prescriptions may be medically appropriate, but also warn prescribing opioids without a legitimate medical purpose could subject them to enforcement action. The names of the doctors and nurses who got the letter will not be released. There could soon be some new tools coming to Dane County to help track and prevent opioid overdose deaths. The county is up for 2 different state grants worth a total of $45,000, which would help track overdose and fatality data in our area. There would also be a system set up to reach out to communities that see a spike in overdoses to make sure they have the resources they need to reduce the threat there. We're still waiting to learn more about when those grants will come in. Smoking tobacco is the leading cause of preventable death in the U.S., and a new report from the American Lung Association gives Wisconsin failing grades for tobacco prevention. That organization is calling for more program funding and for lawmakers to adopt legislation to place all tobacco products behind the counter or in a locked cabinet. That bill passed the Senate last session but didn't advance in the Assembly. Wisconsin was also given a failing grade for its minimum age to buy tobacco products. According to a National Academy of Medicine report, increasing the minimum to 21 years old would prevent more than 200,000 deaths, including more than 50,000 from lung cancer. 7:26 right now. There is more local news ahead for us, including reaction from a southern Wisconsin community after a weekend homicide. And we're getting ready for music's biggest night. A preview of the Grammys that you'll see only on News 3 Now when we come back. Stay with us.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome back on this Sunday, February 10th. I'm Josh Breiter, just about 7:30 right now. Meteorologist Chris Reese has an updated look at the winter storm track in just a moment. But first, here's what's making news this morning. After concerns from numerous parents, leaders at the Iowa Grant School District are defending their idea to move to larger class sizes. They say cutting class sections from 4 to 3 will free up teachers to do other things like support lower achieving students or focus on technology. The topic will be discussed at a school board meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. With Valentine's Day right around the corner, there's a reminder to make sure any potential beaus you're finding online are real. Catfishing is the 11th most popular cybercrime in the U.S. and the second costliest. Now that's when a person fakes their identity on social media or a dating site, lures someone into trusting them, and takes their money. According to FBI data, Wisconsinites stay relatively safe from it, but still, victims here lose almost $2 million to scammers every year. And a new survey by Bankrate shows men and women have very different expectations of how much money they should be spending on this Valentine's Day. Men will spend an average of $339 on their partners, while women will spend $64. But here's the real disconnect. Women only expect their partners to spend $154, while men, on the other hand, wish their partners would spend $211. 7:31 right now. Meteorologist Chris Reese is busy tracking yet another winter storm headed our way.
Yeah,
Chris.
that's right. And we have a round of light snow that moves in before that, Josh. And that's what we're focusing on, at least for this morning, because that's going to impact you for your Sunday. We're already starting to see some snow start to show up on Doppler track, but a lot of that heaviest snow is mainly to our south and west at the moment across parts of Iowa. Expect that to stream in, though, as we go through the morning and into the afternoon. Again, that's not going to be an extremely heavy snow event. But just to our north, places like Juneau and Adams counties are under winter weather advisories. That's where you can see as much as 2 to 3 inches of snow. For the rest of us, we're looking at fairly lighter amounts, probably about an inch, maybe 2, the farther north you are. But temperatures are below freezing, so any snow that falls does have the possibility to stick. We're at 21 degrees in Madison right now. Winds out of the east and southeast at 9 miles per hour. We'll stay steady, honestly, with those temperatures in the 20s, topping out around 26 degrees towards 3 to 4 o'clock before those temperatures gradually fall again, moving into the overnight hours. But we're also watching this system across the west, bringing very heavy snow to the Sierra Nevada mountains. That, my friends, is going to take a track towards the Great Lakes, and that could mean several inches of snow for us as early as Tuesday. We do have an alert date for Tuesday due to that heavy snow threat. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. Developing overnight, we've been following the latest on the homicide investigation in Beloit. We expect to learn more from police in a press conference there later this morning after one man was killed Saturday afternoon. Officers say it happened on the 800 block of Vine Street and that the victim was a 28-year-old man from Janesville. Police believe the suspect and victim knew each other. News 3 Now was on scene last night and talked to neighbors who say their neighborhood doesn't have a lot of crime, but they did notice something suspicious on Saturday.
There was a car weirdly parked on the terrace across the street, and it sat there for a while. It just looked weirdly parked. And then a while after we noticed it was there, fire truck came, ambulance came, and then they left, and that's when the yellow tape and the police came.
Beloit police do not have anyone in custody right now, but say there is no active threat to the public. We'll bring you any updates during the press conference and new developments today on the Channel 3000 mobile app. More local news. The Beaver Dam community will soon have a new kayak launch. It will be in memory of a 24-year-old woman killed in an apartment fire back in April. The Common Council accepted a $25,000 donation from Jade Wilson's grandfather this week. When News 3 Now talked to her friends last year, they described her as a loving, warm-hearted person. She also loved to kayak. Her grandfather's donated money will go to the City Parks Department to help build that launch site where Oneida Street runs into Beaver Dam Lake, a couple blocks south of Lakeville Park.
It is time to ensure that we are all making sure that diversity and inclusion is present and front and center.
Roll out the red carpet. Alicia Keys hosts the Grammy Awards tonight right here on News 3 Now. The 15-time Grammy winner is hosting for the first time. Kendrick Lamar and Drake are the top Grammy contenders. Lady Gaga and Cardi B also have several nominations. Not only are the Grammy Awards the biggest night in music, for some it's the biggest night of their careers. Stella Escobedo introduces us to some of music's rising stars you'll see on stage tonight.
When I taste tequila.
Country duo Dan and Shay are rehearsing ahead of Sunday's Grammy Award show, where they'll perform for the first time.
We'll probably be nervous. Like right now, we're feeling good, we're feeling the vibe, but I feel like it'll be a different energy when there's all the biggest stars, musicians, singers, everybody in the entire world.
They're also nominated for Best Country Duo Performance. Rapper Nipsey Hussle is also up for his first Grammy.
Oh man, this is my first album, so that's important, that's special. I'm excited to be, one of the ones that got recognized by the Grammys.
Baby, can you focus?
Another newcomer, 21-year-old R&B singer Her, spoke to CBS This Morning's Gayle King about her journey.
About how 2 years ago I made a vision board and I put down all these goals. A Grammy nomination was on there, but now I have 5.
The excitement for music's biggest night ramping up here in Los Angeles. The who's who of the music industry are being celebrated at pre-Grammy parties. Music's top honorees walked the red carpet Wednesday night at the Billboard's Hot 100 party in Beverly Hills. In downtown, stars like Rita Ora, Charlie XCX, and Brandi Carlile attended the Warner Music Group's pre-Grammy bash. But the biggest parties are still to come, after the Grammy Awards are handed out Sunday night. Stella Escobedo, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And there's a local lesser-known face in this year's Grammy race. Jim Leary will be recognized for his work connected to the Swiss and German folk music from the early 20th century produced in Wisconsin. Leary is a semi-retired professor at UW-Madison and is nominated in the Best Album Notes category. He says the album has a special place in his heart because it shares Wisconsin's diverse history. Again, the Grammys are tonight right here on News 3 Now, starting at 7 o'clock. Well, there are just 4 days left to buy something nice for your special someone or just treat yourself. Sure, flowers are nice, but how about some cookies? We're decorating the treat everyone will love when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Still tracking that light snow working its way towards the area. Just a little bit of dry air still to be overcome by this system, but I do think that'll happen, especially as we get you farther towards the late morning and into early afternoon hours. Right now, we are starting to see at least some of the heavier returns showing up near Platteville. We'll see if that begins to reach the ground, but so far, no reports of that reaching the ground just yet. Temperatures, though, do remain into the lower 20s, 21 here in Madison right now. As you go through the next 12 hours or so, expect those temperatures to top out around 26 degrees this afternoon, but staying mainly in the 20s today. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. If you're still looking for something to get your special someone for Valentine's Day, you are in luck this morning. Of course, flowers and chocolates are nice options, but there are some other unique ideas we all love. Don Cottingham from Cookies by Design joins us this morning with some delicious stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
Good morning. Thanks for coming in. So you were actually saying this is your busiest holiday for you guys' business.
Yes, this is our busiest holiday, and so we've been very busy baking and getting, sweet treats ready for folks. So.
What are some of the things that you kind of look out for Valentine's Day?
Every year kind of the bouquets change as far as popularity, and so Cookies by Design puts out different designs for the Valentines, and so these are a couple of our examples of this year's Valentine sweets.
I know we even have some classic News 3 logos down there you guys made for us.
Yeah, this is also, we have some businesses that also provide gifting to employees or business to business for different holidays, Valentine's included, so I want to just bring some examples and give you guys a sweet treat while we were bringing them in.
You think, cookies are simple, but when it comes down to it, you guys really get into it.
Yeah, we do. There's some very intricate designs on some of they really are a piece of artwork really in our designs, so, and we can specialize things for different occasions and make it really custom.
So I know a lot of moms like to keep their kids busy at home, decorating the cookies. What do you kind of have for recommendations for trying, the frosting, the sprinkles, all of that stuff? Because it really can be a lot.
It can be a lot, yeah. I mean, I think sometimes just keeping it simple is the best way to go. We actually have a kit that does have that. It's little cookies, and then we do the little frosting samples, and so they can just decorate their own, but otherwise just let kids have fun and decorate their Valentines.
So you said this is a busy week for you guys, so I'd assume get your order in sooner rather than later?
Absolutely, yes. If you're thinking about sending a bouquet, absolutely call us and get your order. Go online at cookiesbydesign.com and put your order in and get it in soon.
It's funny to hear bouquet of cookies. Is that what you guys call it?
It is. Yep, cookie bouquets. This is like cookie basket or bouquet, we call it.
Okay.
So.
Well, if people are interested, how can they reach out to you for more questions or their order?
Sure, they can call us at 845-6444, or they can go on cookiesbydesign.com and just go on and order their cookies. And look at, there's over 400 designs, so they can look for different occasions. So that's usually the best way to see what we have.
And perfect for any time of the day, even the morning, right?
Absolutely.
Cookie for breakfast?
Absolutely.
All right, Donald, thank you so much, and happy Valentine's Day to you and your business.
Yes.
Well, my guess is more comfort food will be on the menu this week as we brace for another winter storm. Here's another live look outside this Sunday morning. All is quiet right now, but Chris is tracking the timing and the snow totals coming up. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. We thank you for watching the all-new News 3 Now this morning.
And we're awaiting some light snow to move into the area as we speak. We've been watching that heaviest snow just to our southwest across parts of Iowa right now, kind of right along Interstate 80, moving towards the north. And I do think parts of central and north central Wisconsin do have the best chance of seeing some of the heavier snowfall from this. Now, we do see at least some light returns here in the state, along with some radar returns over places like Platteville and parts of Iowa County. It's not reaching the ground yet now. We do still have some dry air in place that has to overcome. And once that does so, then we'll see some of that heavier snow begin to work its way on in. Still, though, things are going to be light as we go through the day. The best chance to really get in on some of the heavier accumulations is across Juneau and Adams counties in our area. That's where there are winter weather advisories for as much as 2 to 4 inches of snow. But for the most part, I do think we will end up with right around an inch or less of snow today. Heavier snow moves in Tuesday. We'll talk about that in just a second. But in the meantime, temperatures are below freezing. So any snow that does fall will stick on the roads out there. 21 degrees here in Madison. Teens as you work your way up towards the north. And winds coming out of the east and southeast at 9 miles per hour. Oddly enough, it's that wind that is supplying a little bit of that drier air, but still with the humidity at 81%, we're starting to see the atmosphere moisten up just enough that we should begin to see some flakes of snow falling through that in time. I think that heaviest snow moves in probably right around 10 to noon or so. It'll still stay light in nature and truly come to an end by the time we get you towards about 8 o'clock. How much snow are we looking at? Again, not a lot, generally about an inch with the heavier snows as you work your way towards the north. As you work your way towards the Illinois border, it's possible that you may see less than an inch of snow altogether. But another system is going to be coming our way. It's bringing a lot of snow to the Rockies and the Sierra Nevada now. It's going to track across the plains and then work its way towards the Great Lakes. This, by Tuesday, could be heavier snowmaker for us. In fact, let's go ahead and show you how this one may play out. This is 8 o'clock Monday night, temperatures in the 20s. We'll have winds coming off the lake at that point, so we'll have a little bit of dry air to overcome. But once that heavier moisture moves in here, I do believe it will certainly do so. We'll see that heavy snow around. This is Tuesday morning at 6:30, lasting really all the way into Tuesday night. By the time all is said and done, we are looking at perhaps 7 or 8 inches of snow out of that second system. So that one could be a much bigger snowmaker for us. Again, the heaviest snow does look like it'll be just to our north and west, but this could be another winter storm type system. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that as we go through the next coming days. In fact, we do have an alert day for your Tuesday already in anticipation of that snow. We could see some wind with that one too. So that's something to keep in mind. Sunshine returns for Wednesday and into your Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day night into Friday, we could have another system coming our way, bringing a chance for accumulating snow. So we're going to be busy in the weather department over the next couple of days. And I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about all those systems we're going to be covering.
I think so. You know, I took your advice yesterday. I went and washed the car because I had to get some of the salt off. And the line was crazy, even with the snow coming.
I went one day. It was the day that the freezing rain started, and there was still a long line. So people are getting the salt off those cars.
You have to do it.
Before you add more.
Seriously. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Well, the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame is now open in Milwaukee. There are 6,500 bobbleheads of sport figures, mascots, celebrities, animals, cartoon characters, politicians, just to name a few there. So far, the owners have collected more than 10,000 bobbleheads, so some will be able to be on rotation or a part of special exhibits there. For example, if a certain sports team is in town, the owners are in the process of having the collection certified as the world's largest by Guinness Book of World Records. The Hall of Fame is located in downtown Milwaukee and is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6. We'll stay with News 3 Now this weekend. We'll be tracking the incoming winter storm online and on our late news. Then tomorrow morning, I'll have the latest on the Madison Lakes report after last summer's flooding. But first this morning, meet the robots of the future. They're not just programmable, but teachable too. How soon these fellas could become a reality on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back at 7:54. Call them the robots of the future. While most robots are programmed to carry out a specific function, researchers in Arizona are now developing a new generation of machines that can learn new skills.
And as Chris Martinez shows us, these teachable robots could change how we work and live.
Tossing a ball through a hoop may not seem like a complicated task, but it's pretty impressive when you consider this robot learned how to do it.
So we provided only the goal. We did not provide the way to achieve or the means to achieve that goal.
Assistant robotics professor Henny Ben Amor leads a team of researchers at Arizona State University developing machines that can learn. Instead of being programmed to carry out a task, the robots use machine learning, a combination of algorithms and sensors that makes them teachable. The robots can adapt and react to an unforeseen situation, like this robotic arm that tries to catch a ball by anticipating where it will be thrown. It doesn't always get it right.
Close. Ideally, the robot would not take a day or a week for this, but rather a couple of hours.
The technology is helping developers design smarter robots. Take, for instance, this robot that can learn the floor plan of a house or business and be taught to pick up misplaced items it finds. Researchers say a device like this could one day clean up your home. Machine learning is also being adapted for medical use. This robotic prosthetic can analyze the nuances of how its user walks and adjust as needed.
It's learning the relationships between the human and how it should react.
Researchers believe the teachable tech will ultimately help both man and machine learn to interact. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Tempe, Arizona.
You know the saying, there's an app for that. Soon it's going to be, there's a robot for that.
I know, but hey, that was a pretty cool story.
That was
Oddly
cool.
enough, pretty impressive there. Unfortunately, for a lot of folks, unless you're a snow lover, we are looking at more chances for snow in our forecast. One of those comes in today that's not going to be a big deal at all. We're looking at about an inch of snow for that, perhaps 2 to 3 inches of snow if you're in Juneau or Adams counties, but it is going to be a light snowmaker for most of us. Monday night and into Tuesday, that could be a windy snowstorm that comes on through with potential for more than 6 inches of snow in the area. We get a little bit of a break for Wednesday and during the day on Valentine's Day. But Valentine's Day night into Friday, we could have another system come through. Could be even windier with that one. So we're going to watch that one as well for another chance for significant snow. But I do see sunshine towards the weekend before another snow chance late Monday.
All right, stay with News 3 Now this weekend for the latest on that winter storm track. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Make it a great day.